So here we have a straight southeast to kind of northwestish angle. Many teams looking to take control of areas all over the map. We have a decent spread. Vikings looking like they're going to be taking Los Leones unchallenged. Looks like we have a couple of teams looking to go towards Impala as Nani stays spread.
Quite a lot of the teams are moving towards the north side of the map, though.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait and see where the first circle shows itself, but this is a decent spread across multiple areas. It looks like Nani, Chucky's just going to try and get out of there. I don't think Chucky's going to stick around for long. Yeah,
Where are his
ST1.
teammates, though?
They look like they're trying to get away already, but they really haven't got an angle yet. It looks like Next doing a try to test the strategy, trying to get away, but unfortunately, Nani unable to get any bullets in, and that's going to be Jex, I think, getting away safely. Yeah, that 9mm at that distance is not going to be what they want. So circle shows itself, and we have a Los Leones center circle. So I think Vikings, they're going to be untested for now. Teammate, they've gone down to Puerto Paraíso. They're going to have all that loot as well. I think the main story of this game is going to be the rotations from the teams up north into the northern part of the kind of safe zone.
Yeah, so far the circle actually has quite a lot of sea.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically losing,
side.
you're losing about 25% of the circle already, but depending on subsequent shiftings, you're pretty much going to be safe if you're inside the next circle for the circle after that. So, yeah, so we have, it may looks like we might have a little early fight as RSG and Mineski look to be fighting over El Pozo.
Oh, there are two teams in El Pozo.
Yeah, so I don't know if RSG have one man down. No, they just have a person off to the side. Looks like Shining Star is looting away. So if Mineski does push this action, they may find themselves in a 4v3 situation where they have the advantage. We'll see if RSG and Mineski bump into each other. So we'll leave
They're
them.
both top teams, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mineski, they've won their first two games. They're battling for a top position in this game as well, trying to get as many points as possible. RSG, middle-ish towards the top of the leaderboards. Some great play from Aeon WCS. That's the team's captain. He was able to clutch out a position where I think they finished 4 or 5. No, I think 5th when they had lost all of their members apart from himself. So he's definitely a player that if he loses his team, he can still play for a decent ranking to try and get his team some points.
Ah, okay.
So, not much action going on right now. Lots of spread out teams. You have TNC. They've actually got 1 compound each. And I believe...
Hello? Starting to see some action.
No, I think he's just testing something. I'm not too sure.
Testing his gun?
Yeah, maybe he's not too sure what he's doing. I think he's just testing his recoil or something. He's not definitely not aiming at anyone. And there's no one in the vicinity, so we'll leave them be. As it does look like we have Zenetics and Nani near each other. It looks like Fantasy has an angle. And Crib says, and this is a fight that's just happening out towards the Minas Generales area. I'm not sure Zenetics should be pushing this, but they've got 1 knock, so now they have the advantage.
Oh, one guy is down.
Yeah, that's going to be now a 4v3 scenario with Fantasy getting very aggressive. But remember, this is third-person perspective, so pushing like this is very, very dangerous.
I see him keep tabbing to see his surroundings and...
Yeah, they're playing very close to the door. There's the push there. Nice Yoda saw Nani. That's actually another member of Team 25 having to evade that fire. I think that's going to be Team 25 picking up whoever they can and getting out of that area.
Yeah,
thinking about that next serve.
He just wants to move away from the complex.
Yeah, you lose. You got to cut your losses there. There's no. Oh no! Unfortunately, I think that's Zakia actually taking himself out there, getting out of the vehicle too early, and unfortunately unable to survive. So more shots though. Actually, it looks like Team 2 have actually found the angle. That's going to be Zenetics. I think they're taking out the wheels. They don't want him to be able to drive away.
Okay.
But I think that's a very slight angle. They're hiding behind this wooden blockade. They're going to get that res going, but it looks like Chucky still hasn't got any loot, so they are leaving it very late to get any kind of gear should they want to get into any fights anytime soon.
Things are looking quite bad for that team.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in the circle. They're being pushed by a fully geared team. They've only got 2 members here. You know, I think this is a bad scenario if they stick around for too long. If Zenetics keep getting aggressive, they may end up pushing this and ultimately making Nani lose 2 players for free. Unless Chucky's got a weapon. Okay, he's got an M4 now at least. It's not just that pan we saw him with just then.
Yeah, he's slowly gearing up for the fight. Meanwhile, we see Team Vikings taking a really nice position right in the middle of the circle.
Yeah, they're not worried about anything. I mean, they have taken control of Los Leones. They've got all the loot they're going to need. They have vehicles to play with. You know, they're getting out of Los Leones now in case any teams rotate. They could have been worried about teams coming from Impala, from Puerto Paraiso. They don't want to stick around Los Leones, but they've got what they wanted to get from the initial drop in Los Leones, and now they're, you know, exiting the town to make sure that they actually can survive. But actually, speaking of that fight previously, it looks like Nani have actually turned it on his head, as now it's turned into a 2v4 scenario. Sorry, 2v3 scenarios. That's Chucky taking out Dimension.
He's got a decent gun now.
Yeah, this TPP advantage is so great for defenders.
Yeah.
That was Chucky peeking out for free, not exposing themselves. You can tell that Nani has experience playing third-person perspective.
Yep. But there's...
Is the angle there? Good tag there. I think... Yeah, if he gets tagged, you know, if Chucky peeks one time here, this could be bad. That's a smoke. That's not going to do anything, especially when you throw it in your own building.
Do you think that was intentional?
No, I believe that was trying to smoke out that angle. But at least Nani now have 3 members, so this is a 3v3 fight around this compound.
But that's outside of the circle, right?
Yeah, no team is inside the circle, and they're committed to this compound. So I think the only way one team is going to get out here is if one team takes the other one out, or at least gets a knock.
Yeah.
Oh, Fantasy exposed right there. Takes a couple of bullets from that. I believe that's a 9mm. Yeah, that's going to be a UMP with her being shot there. So, you know, UMP's recently being buffed. All the SMGs getting a bit of a rework. It's a great weapon to use, especially at these kind of mid to close range engagements.
Definitely. It seems like they're going to fight it out before either of the team are moving into the circle.
I mean, the circle's slowly coming now, but I could see this fight being very prolonged, especially in the third-person perspective mode. You know, nobody really needs to commit to an angle here. And unless one team catches the other one moving, like we saw Fantasy out on this balcony here, I don't see an opportunity for any team to get a kill, because pushing into a team that has control of a building is basically suicide in third-person perspective.
But it does seem like both teams have players who are trying to flank from outside.
Yeah, I don't know if Nani are trying to disengage. It looks like they're trying to get their team out, and it looks like they flanked around the outside of the buildings, not trying to find an angle here.
Slowly moving out instead?
Yeah, maybe, but I think, you know, you see nobody actually peeking here, leaving himself exposed to try and take shots, but that's going to be a great opening there for Nani to also return fire.
Wow.
High ground's been gained now, and this is going to be beautiful as you see nobody gets knocked out. That's Zhuang taking you see nobody out with that AK. Can they get the res without exposing themselves?
Wow. It's really smart of that Zhong player.
Yeah, trying to get an angle here, and now that's going to be good work. AK is quite hard to hit from this range, but the closer player Chucky doing some work. But we have trades back and forth. I think the flank was there, as it looks like Akia actually got a beautiful flank here. We saw this play, you know, Akia was at this wall here and flanked all the way around to get the angle, and now Zenetics, they had the advantage. They've wasted it, and now Fantasy is the last player remaining.
Yeah. Nani actually hit use of the wall.
Ooh, Fantasy, though, with the return frags. It's now a 1v1 scenario. Chucky, last man standing for Nani.
There's one guy knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, you could bounce back out, could go for the res. Are you going to push this with... Are you really going to push this with no vest, no helmet? This is an interesting choice. Let's see what Chucky does. Chucky trying to use third person to their advantage, but Fantasy holding the high ground here.
He does have the slight advantage.
Has the advantage in terms of the position, as well as a level 1 helmet and a level 2 vest. I don't see this going well. Oh my gosh, Chucky though.
Wow.
With a great flick shot there. That is actually, you know, I'm going to eat my words there.
And you thought he wasn't going to survive this.
Did not think Chucky was going to survive that, but I believe he may even be able to get the res as well after clearing. And ultimately, great play from Nani, being able to survive with 2 members and stay inside the game. So, we briefly mentioned Resurgence earlier on. They've got a great position here in terms of having multiple vehicles to work with. They can spread their, you know, their team members out. They can move around the map very freely.
It's really interesting to see the movement of the teams that were already in the circle, though. It seems like they're moving further south.
I think what they want to do is they want to get as central as possible so that when the circle does shift the next time, they have the shortest distance to move to the next circle. Position is very important, and we've seen Vikings do this a lot in previous games, where they will sacrifice position in terms of the ability to loot more items, they will cut their looting short and instead focus on getting center circle as soon as possible. One play that RSG Resurgence are doing very well is they're coming in with the circle whilst having vehicles so that they can respond to the next circle as quickly as possible. Some teams may come in on foot, may stay on foot, and if they haven't got the vehicles to support fast movement on Miramar, which is such a big map, it makes it very difficult to make those rotations that you need to do.
Okay.
I think we have ST1, this is top 1.
Sabah top 1?
Sorry, Sabah top 1, seeing, I believe this is Vikings on the high ground here, may have just seen Buzz-Top's head. Definitely sees Poker now.
Does have an 8 times goal.
Yeah, but I think you need to think about a situation here. You know, even if you get a knock, unless that knock is out in the open, you're not going to be able to follow up on it, and you're going to give away your position. So let's see if Jay-Z actually takes a shot here.
Seems like he's just scouting things out for now.
Keeping eyes on Vikings. There's a shot though. Shot's been made, and that's going to be the engagement pool. As now Buzz-Top needs to move that vehicle or get out of there. Jay-Z trying to find the angle, and that's going to be Team 24 Vikings made aware that Sabah top is up here at this compound. There's a Meneski already on the kill feed though. Let's go drop in here. It seems like Jason from Cass actually gets taken out and eliminated. That Bucky not offering enough protection. And now we have another member, or left 3 members of Cass in the vicinity. They got to be careful because 3 members inside of a Bronco with no roof on the back. If I was Grass Jelly, I would be saying, get me out of here. Don't try and be past those guys. I don't want to get shot off the back of this Bronco.
Yeah. If this vehicle explodes, it's going to be a painful way to go out.
So shots being returned by Team 24. This is Vikings, as you mentioned, making that opening fire. Yes, you might get a knock there, but now Vikings know where you're at. Now Vikings can return fire. So was it really worth it?
Well looted though, Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they actually left Los Leones because they were done looting, not because they were worried about other teams.
Yeah, probably.
There's Conger again with another kill, 2 kills to their name, putting Moneski on the board. And Moneski, we saw them in the first game on Miramar. They did very well in terms of getting a lot of kills early on and securing, obviously, a great position by winning the game. Maybe Miramar is their map. Maybe they prefer to fight on Miramar. Maybe they prefer this style of open terrain. So we'll have to see if maybe Erangel is not their favorite, and that's the reason why they didn't perform as well in the 2 Erangel maps.
Yeah, it did seem a bit like they lost their momentum for a little bit during the 3rd and 4th maps just now.
I think it may also be a point where, you know, Mineski may be more practice on Miramar, but teams like TNC and Aerowolf, they may just be more comfortable in Erangel.
Yeah.
If they're longer term players, if they've been playing a lot of competitive, Erangel is a map that is very well favored in the competitive scene, so they may just have more hours on it. They may have better rotations, they may have better understanding of how the map plays in terms of combat. So there's plenty of questions that need to be answered, and I think the more maps that get played throughout the tournament, the more we'll get answered. Oh, PSG actually jumping out. I think deliberately maybe getting out to avoid giving a kill, but no. That's going to be Aerowolf. Aerowolf getting a free kill there on PSG.
Oh, man.
But that information will be relayed to the rest of TNC, and now TNC are going to be like, no. Let's get out of here. Don't go towards Los Leones. Aerowolf already have control of the area. We don't want to give Aerowolf any more kills.
But right now, most of the teams are converging on the same area in the circle.
We do have a bit of a fight that may happen here. As we have, I think this is Team 8 down below, inside the Y mines. This is actually really good play here because you can hear very easily if anyone's above you, if you're down below. But it does mean leaving this Y mine is very difficult. You know, if Team 3, if Sabah top 1 bring players into the area to take control of the high grounds here, it's very hard to leave the mine. So we'll see.
They're kind of close in to that area.
There's only 2 exits from this mine, so we'll see if Sabah top 1 actually invests heavily in keeping Team 8 here and see if any fights kick off. As we have Payne and Buzz-Top getting a couple of kills. I think this was TNC trying to move to a new location. I think that's actually TNC losing a lot of members. Hipster's, I think, the last person left alive.
Standing?
Yeah, Hipster's the captain of the team as well, so now has a tremendous feat or task, which is to try and survive as long as possible. Forget kills, go into camp mode, get as high ranked as possible, and try and play this one out to the end.
Yeah, but he's in such a highly contested area right now. It's going to be hard to survive.
It's going to be very hard to survive as we have Quadro SG taking shots towards Vikings. This is Team Shield. I believe they're currently in last place. Looking to get involved. I think if I was the team captain of Team Shield, I'd say, guys, we're not in a scenario where we're going to place or podium well if we play passive. We have to get aggressive. And I think Team Shield, if they want to do well in the tournament, they have to go and be more aggressive now. But if they're happy with just winning a game or 2, they can still play the same strategy, but they have to make some changes if they're looking to ultimately win the game.
Okay, now we see the next circle coming up.
Yeah, not really a hard shift, but we do see a shift here as we see Jex actually on top here. This is Jex taking out shots towards Malayan Raw. And I think that's Malayan Raw down to 2 players left on their feet. Yeah, they're in the blue as well. In a hard position if you're Malayan Raw. And that's going to be Boom taking out Karais.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And he only has bandages left.
Yeah, only bandages left. Maybe go to a teammate, get as many meds as you can. But I don't know. I think that's going to be game, set, and match from Malayan Raw. As Jex already know that there's definitely someone there. They can just lock that area down and not let anyone else in. But we'll leave that one to play out as it is because we do have this next circle. We do have a drop to the south, and it looks like Sabatop 1 have already looted it. We can see here Jay-Z with the level 3 helmet and the AUG. Great weapon to use, especially if the game starts to end towards Los Leones. It's a great close-range weapon.
Yeah, we see Arrowwolf actually. Are they setting up camp in Los Leones?
Oh, mother fight kicking off, guys. It looks like Cass pushes in towards Sabatop 1.
Ooh.
And that's going to be Sabatop 1 taking Cass out. 1 player left on their feet. Can Grass Jelly clutch this one? Low on health. Not many supplies. And Jay-Z, is Jay-Z going to breach this?
Ooh.
Jay-Z is going to breach it, but the third-person perspective is going to be hard to beat.
He sees them. He sees them.
Grass Jelly pushing up. Oh, that's the wrong time to med, and that's going to be Cass eliminated by Sabatop 1 as Mineski takes shots towards Vikings. Picking up a few kills, eliminating a high potential threat.
Oh, they took out someone from Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings losing players.
3 players left.
That's Poker, but they are set up pretty nicely. Leza pushing forward. And basically letting his team know that it's completely safe to push up to this rock face. Making that play. Look how many vehicles they've got to use as well. This is a beautiful little execute from Mineski. You can see shots being fired left, right, and center. Conga going down low, trying to heal, using that tiny lift to their advantage.
This is going to be a tough push for Mineski.
Yeah, I don't know if this is worth it. Vikings inside, using third-person perspective to their advantage, taking shots, and it now looks like Mineski is actually getting rolled up on by other teams.
1 man down.
It looks like Mineski losing players left, right, and center. Only 2 players left on their feet, but here comes Team Shield. Team Shield also approaching this fight. If only they knew. Maybe they do. Let's see Maverick. Maverick's so close. There's Mineski pushing in towards Maverick. Maverick making the call, looking for backup. But no, there's going to be Maverick taken out. Team Shield now, only 3 members left alive. Quadro not that near, coming in late and being fired upon. Let's see how this one plays out. It looks like Mineski doesn't see the angle there. Papa Flames pushes forward. Now Mineski, last standing player. Inches. Makes to get that heal off. Vehicles being exploded as grenades rain in from Vikings. This is a 3-way fight right now.
Oh,
Vikings in a great position on this high ground.
Yeah, and I'm really not sure about that push that Mineski attempted though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was so costly.
Yeah, I don't know what the advantage is there for Mineski. Yes, they may get a knock here or there, take a member out of Vikings, but it's so hard to push into a building on third-person perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, questionable decision at best there. Let's see how this one plays out for Mineski though. Gucci is going to be pushing out the back, trying to get away, or he's going to get aggressive, wait for these teams to fight. So many questions to be answered.
Still 2 guys over at TS.
Yeah, let's see if they push together. Are they going to flank around here? Any nades to work with? Let's have a look. I don't see any nades. Maybe a flashbang to work with.
They know there's still 1 guy hiding out there.
They have to know because Mineski wasn't eliminated. That last kill that they got, they knew it was a knock. A-Geek pushing forward. Pooches will definitely see this coming. Pooches playing very cautiously here, using this third-person perspective to their advantage. But no! Actually getting killed by Quadro. Great flank there. That's Quadro on the high ground, backing his teammates up, and that's Mineski eliminated. So that's going to do a lot of damage to their standings overall.
Yeah, definitely.
We just mentioned it earlier on, but Sabatop 1, they have this high ground on the Y-Mine, and now Team 8, they tried to escape. This is Kento. They're not going to make it out without a fight, and now SD1, great snipe there from Jay-Z. That's Jay-Z trying to land a few more shots with this Kar 98 suppressed. There's G-Mace tagged up, all in hand.
Kenta is in a really disadvantageous position right now.
Yeah, they have disadvantage in terms of 2 things. They have the unfair peaking advantage. They have to move towards it, but look at this play from Fang. Fang getting so aggressive. Fang on the flank here. Do they know that he's close by? They go. And that's going to be Fang getting some great shots in. But does he know there's a threat down below as G-Mace comes from behind? This is an interesting scenario as G-Mace is the last person standing on the low ground, trying to get his final shot, and that's going to be Sabatot 1 taking Kento out of the game.
Nice one by Sabatot 1.
Yeah, great play there. They invested the resources necessary to lock down this Y mine, and Kento, as mentioned previously, they had to choose one side to push out, and unfortunately they weren't able to get out.
Yeah.
But all that noise, all that fighting, definitely have alerted the KLQ to the fact that Sabatot 1 are here. Salka with this third-person perspective, just stay on board with Salka. See when they first see Sabatot 1 pushing, they have vision now.
Yep.
They know they're here. There's the engagement. KLQ trying to get an angle. That's the Wang getting tagged up, and that's Forsyth taking down a Wang. 2 members left up top here, as X-Fang has to push in to try and give backup. A flank here from X-Fang could be the play that saves them. But a great refrag here, now turning it into a 3v3 scenario. Salka with the grenade. Where does it go? Lands very close. That's so close. Oh, takes a big chunk of a Wang's health out. The smoke is out, though. Can they get this res? Fire being given by Jay-Z. Jay-Z trying to just suppress KLQ. He wants to try and create the space so that they can get this res going.
Yeah, he's trying to flank them as well, right?
Yeah, I think X-Fang, this is going to be the play that will try and maybe win Sabatot 1 the game. If X-Fang can get an angle for the flank here, it could be potentially game-winning or this confrontation winning for Sabatot 1.
But this compound that KLQ is taking is really strategically placed. It has the higher ground.
Yeah, I mean, it does have the higher ground. The third-person advantage is obviously really great. Jay-Z trying to get a nade in. Let's follow this one in. He's hooking it perfectly. It doesn't go in though, so that's going to be KLQ safe for now. They're doing a great job of drawing their attention, and now let's go on board with X-Fang. X-Fang sees nades going out. There's a knock as well, so now X-Fang needs to push. He wants to get aggressive.
Cautious.
Door gets opened.
Really
There's the P, and that's 2 members down. KLQ know that X-Fang are close now. This flank has done so much work, but no, X-Fang getting too aggressive, overextending.
And now alone.
KLQ getting pushed by more members, but now KLQ 1 man standing. 1 knock there. More pushing in, but there's the Orb doing so much work, and that's going to be Sabatot 1 ultimately coming out on top, surviving with 3 members alive.
Wow. Really well played by Sabatot 1.
Yeah, great games right there. You know, we've been focusing a lot on the southern side of the circle, but, you know, we saw Aerowolf, they played very well in previous maps. They've now got a great compound here. This is a beautiful building to play from. You have high ground advantage, your center circle, you've got exit strategies. We'll have to see what the next circle says after this. 53 seconds until it closes in. But, you know, if I was a betting man, I would say Aerowolf in a great position here to ultimately do very well this game. He may maybe even take the whole thing.
Right in the middle of the circle.
Do have the remnants of Resurgence, though, coming in towards Jex. And Jex on this high ground, let's see if they have anyone spotting out the window. And I think they do. Red Rum with this third-person perspective, we definitely have seen Resurgence coming in.
Yep.
It's just a question of when they engage. When do they engage? These railings do so much work to help RSG there. Resurgence going to be able to get back into cover. And Jex, unfortunately, unable to capitalize on the fact that they knew that Resurgence were down there. Sake on the high ground. Grenade being primed. Grenade thrown, doesn't go far enough. Team Shield being knocked out and losing players. Fights all over the map. As Resurgence really need to make it up top here, otherwise they're not going to make it into the circle. This rock face here will prevent these guys from going in unless they go all the way to the south there. They really have to either push up here or smoke up and get out. You know, it's going to be an interesting decision to see what Resurgence do.
But that's the thing about Miramar. There are so many like rocks and cliffs like that. How are you even gonna push up?
Yeah, I think they realize that, you know, the longer the fight goes on, the worse the position they're in, and they've bounced out. Aeon WCS, the captain of the team, has probably said, "Hey guys, look, we're not going to win this fight. Let's think about the circle." And now that the circle is already closing, it's actually given them the opportunity to potentially move out, as Jets have to move with the circle as well. All tags here, though. This is going to do a lot of damage to Red Rum. He's got a Red Murder. He's got to be very careful. And I think he might be in a situation where Team Shield's last remaining member, Quadra SG, might get pushed by Resurgence.
He's still there.
Resurgence actually running straight past Team Shield's last remaining member. But Jex pushing directly towards him. We could have a very close range fight. It could kick off very shortly. Sake.
A lot of the teams right now...
Oh, hang on, watch this.
Ooh.
Jan flanking here. Aeon WCS exposed, gets tagged by the UMP. Priming grenades. Let's see if the flank happens from Brax. Brax pushing forward. Here's the angle, but no! Headshot there by Boom. Brax down on the ground, not going to be able to survive, and that's going to be Jex. eliminating Brax from the game. Let's see if Aeon WCS can see the angle here. Can. And playing first person perspective. Shots being fired. And actually getting a re-knock there.
Still pretty even.
Red Room Murderer trying to hold an angle to stop the push for the execute. Save his teammate. As we may have a bit of a close range situation here. Papa-chan pushing forward. That smoke just to block off the hallway. They're going to try and get Boom back on their feet. And maybe move to the next circle if they can. Kisake on the high ground.
Next circle is coming out.
The next circle shows up very close here. Papa-chan has the angle here. Aeon WCS with the grenade caught in his hand, but managing to get away. We have a bit of a situation. We have one player on the high ground, on the low ground, but that's going to be Aeon knocked out. Kisake, last member remaining. 4v1 scenario right now. If Aeon WCS gets eliminated, and that's it. Let's see.
1v4.
Yeah, let's see if Jex can actually close this one out.
It's going to be tough, man.
Yeah, Kisake has the high ground here. And, you know, the impetus is on Jex to push him, to end this fight, to clear the compound, to make sure it's clear. So third-person perspective, you can peek over the wall much better than you would in first-person perspective. But that being said, even if you knock out the first person without taking any damage, second and third person that comes in behind them, you know, you're in a situation where you have to hit shots one after the other. So I don't know if Kisake is going to get pushed here, but if he does, this fight is going to come down to whether that AK can just rip through the level 2 helmets of Resurgence.
Yeah, but it does
Or
seem
Jex, sorry.
that Jex, they're getting quite comfortable. They're just looting. Ooh,
Yeah, I
they're
think
taking shots.
trying to get everyone back on their feet, but that's going to be Tamashi and friends. That's Oldmeister with that mini doing some work, knocking out Phoenix. You know, the one thing that we got to mention here, whilst it's all been going down, Team Shield Quadro SG has just been holding this building.
Wow.
Making sure that he's trying to get the highest position possible for his team to get as many points as possible. And ultimately, you know, bring their team up from, I think they're sitting in last place at the moment. We'll have to check the scores after. So maybe they're playing for that kind of...
Trying to survive.
Trying to get that score, yeah. So the squeeze from the circle comes in. It's moving very slowly at this side of the circle, but the teams do need to move. Jex using the smoke cover that the teams have put down to get out. They're going to be pushing towards the long yellow building in the middle of Los Leones. Aerowolf haven't had to move at all yet, and they're locking that area down beautifully. I do want to have a look at Hipster D. He's the last member of TNC and does get tagged up, and I think that's going to be Buzztop. Yep, taking TNC out of the game, so not another top 3 finish for them.
Oh, man.
Bad luck to them, but well played to Hipster to survive to top 9.
And he had like 7 first aid kits
Yeah.
to help him survive.
Fortunately, you
Bad
know,
luck.
you got no chance to use them.
Yeah.
They end up in the brown box on the floor. Insane Floyd taking down Kisake. That's going to be Resurgence eliminated. They're going to finish at 8, and we have fights. We have fights kicking off everywhere, all over the map now. It looks like Team 14, Insane Floyd did get knocked out. I feel like Insane Floyd's in a position where they can be rezzed. Quadro,
Yeah. Oh,
Quadro has literally played this perfectly. Jex have left the area. Tamashi and friends have been engaged by other teams. Quadro is in a beautiful position here to try and play this for as long as possible to get as many points as possible for his team.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like any of the teams have noticed him though. So that's good.
Yeah, I feel like Saboteur 1 are in a decent position to move down this road should the circle pinch them. We actually have shots from Nani's last remaining member. That's Chucky eliminated, so that's Nani in 7th place if you're following them. The hard shift on the circle is going to mean that a lot of teams are going to have to move. Vikings trying to cross this street already. Looks like Lindo might make it across, but more shots being fired. We can see actually this is beautiful play here. Payne just putting pressure on the windows, trying to stop these guys from peeking, but I think Aerowolf know that they haven't got an angle, and that's going to be Buzztop actually taken out by Supernair.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to move soon actually.
Yeah, 30 seconds to play. Remember, the circle moves faster the further you are away from it. Quattro. Okay, doesn't get the knock there. But here comes the backup from the teammates, and that's going to be Tamashi and friends taking them out of the game. Another res, enough time to get going as well.
Yeah, he's had a good run.
Yeah, so now it looks like Aerowolf. I think what's going to happen here is Supernair is going to hold the low ground. What will happen is we have Slasher and Drevice moving over towards RDK's building. They're going to hold that position as Supernair trying to stop this push from Vikings. I think
Yeah, it does
last
seem
remaining
like they
member.
want to take out Vikings before moving into the circle.
Yeah, clearing the rear is obviously really important, but I think they've realized they're not going to get this kill. They're not going to get this final frag. Let's just move on. Let's secure the position inside the circle and see if we can just play this one out for a higher ranking.
Jax has been inside the circle for pretty long now.
Yeah, they're one of the first movers when this circle showed, and it shows because they've established a really good position and they've got a great building.
That's probably the best building there is.
Yeah, interesting idea. Play. Oh gosh, here comes the pushes. Tamashi and friends pushing together. Here's Tamashi pushing forward with that Broza, doing so much work. 2 sprays down, but no, here comes the push from Red Remoter. As Red Remoter needs to reload. Back up from teammates. Grenade goes down the stairs, gets thrown. Oh, beautiful grenade.
Wow.
Actually taking Tamashi out and knocking Insane Floyd down. Old Master, last member standing. Tamashi and friends no longer have any friends as Papa Chad takes Owlmeister out with a grenade. Beautiful play there from Papa Chad. And that's going to be Jex taking control and clearing out that long building for their team.
Right now, there are only 3 teams left.
Yeah, top 3 scenario, 11 players alive.
Very healthy Arrow Wolf with 4 players.
I mean, Arrow Wolf have been very, very passive in terms of their plays this game. They've still got 6 kills to their names, but they've been playing for the Circle predominantly, I believe, because of the fact that the Circle has been in Los Leones. So
yeah,
Circle is going to show itself very soon, and we'll have to see what teams have to move where shortly.
Ooh, all the teams have to move.
That is a harsh, hard shift. Sabatop 1, prime a grenade. Let's see where this one goes. Just going to go short on the corner there, unable to connect. Sabatop 1. They have a great position here because they don't have to move that fast. Smoke's going out by Aerowolf. This is great play here. They know they need to get across here, and this smoke is going to give them the best chance to get across. Let's see if Sabatop 1 has an angle. Saeed has to reload. Spraying into that smoke, unable to connect with any shots.
Wow, Aerowolf is they're just moving out in the streets. Running across the street.
Great use of this smoke. I mean, this is something that you don't really see in public play because of the fact that, you know, it requires coordination. No one member is going to be able to carry this many smokes, but Aerowolf with this great teamwork, able to hold smokes, use them when they need them, and create that cover to get across the open road. Whereas in public play, you'd see teams being sprayed. So top 3 scenario, getting closer. Jex, they have control of this building. They're now being challenged for it. As Drevice sees an angle here on Awang. Awang actually getting tagged up as well. Both players getting tagged up with this. Supernair unfortunately getting tagged out, taken out, knocked out. And now Aerowolf with 3 players remaining. As it looks like Supernair gets knocked out. Lots of fights kicking off everywhere now. Jay-Z with this all with an angle here. Taking down Slasher. So now Nemo or Aerowolf with just 2 players on their feet. Can they get this res going? They have time. The circle is closing very slowly.
This is a really tricky circle though. It's right in the middle of a compound.
Here comes the push from Saboteur 1. Are they going to push? There's the push. Unfortunately, Aerowolf not able to keep their members alive, and now Drevice has to push out. Smoke's out. Needs to make it to cover. Awang right in front of him. They can't see through the smoke. Here comes the push from Jex. Jex behind. And now actually Saboteur 1 helping out. It looks like Aerowolf able to survive, and now they're the last remaining member of this entire fight. And now Aerowolf with 1 player left.
1v1 situation
1v1 scenario.
Saboteur 1 versus Nemo, Aerowolf.
Yeah, so Saboteur 1 versus Aerowolf. Jay-Z will know that the fight's kicked off here. And now Saboteur 1 has vision here. But that little peek, did Aerowolf see that? We can see, I'm going to just quickly show here, the circle is very central, so it will close in on that point. Both players are going to have to push in to that same location. 30 seconds to play with. Let's have a look and see what the nade situation is saying. It looks like Drevice doesn't have anything to work with. Looks like we have Jay-Z with a couple smokes, or at least 1 smoke to work with.
Wow, he's really well looted.
Yeah, has a level 3 helmet as well, so should this become a sniper battle, that level 3 helmet's going to do a lot of work. So 9 seconds until the circle closes. It looks like Drevice is slightly closer to the center circle, so we'll have to move later. There's the grenade being primed, gets thrown. I think Drevice saw the pin being pulled, and now has had to give up that position by that tree that they had. Drevice pushing forward. Shots being fired. Here comes a slow squeeze. The circle is slowly closing now. Drevice trying to make it across the corner. There's the angle out in the open. There's the spray. There's the fight. And it looks like Aerowolf come out on top with that beautiful headshot from Drevice, taking Jay-Z out. And Jay-Z, unfortunately, unable to use that ult to their advantage. And that's going to be Aerowolf clutching another great game.
Yeah, wow. Really well played by Aerowolf.
Yeah, great games all round. Amazing action from all the teams. Interesting scenario there.